Hello and welcome to WheelHouse Art's Art by Volume, presented by The Wine Room by JBell Wine Co., the 100 proof podcast that highlights the vibrant voices of Louisville's creative community. I'm your host, Robin Elise Gibson, aka RAG or RAG if you feel so inclined, and this series shines a spotlight on the diverse range of creatives and aficionados from our beautiful visual arts community. From emerging artists and seasoned curators to passionate collectors and innovative designers, each episode explores the unique journey, insights, and stories that define their craft. In this episode, I had the privilege of sitting down to a lovely conversation with Cathy Shannon, one half of the dynamic duo that owns and operates Louisville's esteemed and storied ENS Gallery. Her husband Walter started the business in 1989, making it one of Louisville's longest-running art galleries. It is also quite unique because they are the only gallery in Louisville and possibly Kentucky that is Black-owned and features the work of exclusively Black artists. Join us as Cathy and I connect through our love of art and discuss her experiences in the art world, how she connects with artists and collectors, her advice for artists and new collectors, and why accessibility in art matters. These topics and more on this episode 5 of Art by Volume. Every conversation is paired with a thoughtfully curated drink from our sponsor and neighbor, The Wine Room by JBell Wine Co., reflecting the artful vibe of the discussions. The featured wine of the episode is JBell Wine Co.'s 2020 Cabernet Franc. A fresh Cab Franc, this wine begins with a fruity nose of cherry and an underlying note of wet rocks. With a medium body, the bright red fruit notes on the palate are rounded out with a hint of tobacco and plenty of herbal notes. There are medium tannins and a nice acidity on the finish. This Cabernet Franc was the featured wine on December 4th for the 12 Days of Christmas at JBell Wine Room. ABV is more than just a podcast. It's a celebration of creativity, expression, and the art that connects us all. So, grab a glass and tune in as we turn up the volume on conversations that matter in the art world. So I'm here with Cathy Shannon from ENS Gallery. Thank you so much for joining me for this conversation.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you for inviting us.
Yes. So I've actually heard of ENS Gallery. I don't know who in Louisville, at least in the art world, hasn't heard of ENS. But you all have been in operation since, 1989.
Yes.
I know that because that was my birth year. So, yes.
Thanks. Now I really feel old.
No, but it's honestly like a real staple in the art community. I knew about ENS before I knew about a lot of other places here in Louisville. So,
Oh, wow. Well, I feel honored.
Yes. So I'm pretty excited to have this conversation. So how did have you always been in the art world?
No, not at all. My husband, Walter, founded the gallery with partners in 1989 when he moved from California, where he had several galleries, and moved back here to be closer with his parents, closer to his parents in Memphis. So he had a sister and brother-in-law here that partnered with him because he wanted to move closer to Memphis, but not back to Memphis. And this worked out. The location is central. And he opened a gallery, and the rest is history.
Nice. So, so he's the one who kind of got you into just.
Well, we met. I was having some art framed, and that's how we met and started dating. Okay. And after 5 years, we married. And a year later, we married in 97. Mm-hmm. And I joined him in the business in 1998.
Okay.
Yeah. But my background is marketing, advertising, PR. And that's the area I was working in when we met.
Okay.
So when I joined him, I put those skills to work in the gallery. And I tell people that I was really an art dealer, a self-taught art dealer, because I learned what I know from Walter and from reading on different artists, different techniques, attending shows, listening to clients. And like I said, my degree was in marketing, advertising, and I got my master's in art history and critical and curatorial studies in 2021 during COVID. So yeah.
So wow. But it's you having a marketing background is like really essential to the art world and being a part of it. So you already had what you needed before.
Yeah, definitely. It was when we were dating, I would just take a extended weekend and do shows with him, and just really got used to that part of it, traveling. I would help him set up, and then it just kind of transitioned, I would work. He's like, well, you don't have to. I'm like, well, I'm not just going to sit here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's it been like to be partners in life and in business?
That's a loaded question. But actually, it has its challenges, because we're together 24/7. So we could be arguing on the way to work, and when we're in the gallery, it's like, okay, back to business. We can be arguing at the gallery, and when we get home, it's like, okay, that's done. But being able to work with your spouse, build a life together, it's really been a blessing. And I think Walter is one of the smartest business people that I know. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so it works out, definitely.
I'll also say I saw some of your All About Art series on YouTube, and just the chemistry that you guys have. It's like you're playful and fun, and yeah, I kind of got a glimpse into it. I'm like, I wonder if like he irritates her at home.
He's the bane of my existence at times, but yeah, he'll say the same thing about me. He likes to tell people we're in the gallery, he's like, you're gonna see somebody here, somebody different next time. And they're like, yeah, right. So yeah, it's a comfortable existence, a partnership.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That is a blessing.
Yeah, we're each other's best friends.
I love that.
And worst enemies at times, but yeah.
I feel like that's gonna happen with any relationship, just because you're different people trying to make a very cohesive thing work. So
yeah, that's very true. But knowing each other's strong points helps. Knowing what buttons not to push can help as well. But really, having the same goal, we both have a passion for art.
Mm-hmm.
And, I tell people we don't sell African American art. We sell art by African American artists because we're the only African American owned and operated gallery in Louisville, maybe the state. So it's, it gives artists an avenue to be seen on a national level. So, yeah.
This programming is made possible by Louisville Visual Art. For more than a century, nonprofit LVA has been bringing more art for more people in more places throughout the Louisville area. Through youth fine art education and high school academy, support for professional and aspiring visual artists, and art installations in public spaces. Visit www.louisvillevisualart.org or follow at Louisville Visual Art on social media. Natalie O Design is a full-service studio that offers a highly developed suite of expertise and services specializing in residential remodels, new construction, and commercial projects. They approach each project holistically and with keen attention to artful details. Their team will be beside you from start to finish, from selecting your build team to choosing tailor-made finishing touches. At Natalie O Design, they lead with craft and innovation. For 2 decades, their team has pushed boundaries and norms within commercial, hospitality, and residential interior projects, challenging conventions with their embrace of adaptive reuse and in-house designed furniture, lighting, art, textiles, and tile. They think globally, with references informed by international travel, food culture, and art, while acting locally with headquarters in Louisville, Kentucky. They are a proud megaphone for local and regional creative talent, makers and artists with whom they collaborate to create spaces that are notable for their eclecticism, warmth, and soul. Allow them to bring your vision to light. Just out of curiosity, how many local artists do you guys represent?
We represent Charles Rice, who lives in Louisville. We also represent the longest artist. The artist that we've been with the longest is Alice Gable-Waddell. And when Walter opened in '89, she lived in Louisville, but she has since moved back to her hometown of Bowling Green.
Oh, wow.
But we've had a lot of local artists, and artists go through transitions, Victor Sweat, T.B. Jackson Williams, Andre Foreman. There's a lot of local artists that we've represented and had relationships with at one point. But again, the art industry is fluid.
Yeah.
Our main staple are the old masters like Jacob Lawrence, Elizabeth Catlett, Richard Mayhew. Those artists for life, so to speak.
Yes. Yeah.
We add along the way. We have regional artists. Kevin West out of Indianapolis is really doing a phenomenal job. The twins, Jerry and Terry Lynn, they were very popular, identical twins that painted on the same canvas at the same time. Very talented artistically, but eventually, they grew apart, moved to different states, so we will represent them individually. Danny Broadway, another artist out of Memphis, Tennessee. So, yeah, quite a few.
There's walking into the gallery is like, it's so, I don't want to say overwhelming because that's not the right word. It's
but it is like striking. Just seeing like the staircase itself, and then how you have the art curated on the first floor to kind of lead your eye, and then going up the stairs and seeing the frame shop and then the artwork. And then the third floor with your masters on the third floor. And so it's a very beautiful space with a lot of nice natural light. And then, of course, the work is just like, wow. And then to know that you can go to a place and see Black and African American artists, it's just like, you know, it does my heart good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. There's just not enough opportunities, you know, locally to showcase our art, showcase our artists. So that's why we stay on the road quite a bit. Yeah.
I just wanted to share one of the things that one of the words that came to mind when I was thinking about your gallery is lineage, and being able to see the works of, you know, masters from the Harlem Renaissance into contemporary artists, and how those artists may have been influenced by those masters, and all of them being in one space. And, you know, like I said about the All About Art series, where you're actually talking to these artists that you've worked with and are working with, and allowing them space during COVID and the Black Lives Matter movement to be able to really talk about their experience and the Black experience, and how that, you know, affects their work, and in a way that's very hopeful and positive and reassuring, because there's a lot of times when, you know, we're not allowed to talk very candidly. Absolutely. And you allowing artists the space to do that was just like, okay, this is needed.
Well, we really had a great producer, Enrico, but he has since moved to Colorado, but Rico Ransom. And it was fun. It was an outlet for us when everything shut down. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, let's just do this.
Right. And it's like you can't travel, so
right. And it really worked out well. We had fun doing it. So yeah, we're glad clients enjoyed it. And we still have. When are you guys gonna do another episode? It's like, dude, it's been 3 years. You know, if Rico ever comes back, we would definitely entertain it again.
Yeah. I think it's also cool to just see, one, you guys interact with each other, and two, with the artists, and being able to, you know, share that connection that you have and those friendships that you have. Yes. How do you like connect initially with artists? Or
a lot of artists find us, or will become aware of an artist, or a client will recommend an artist. But most of the artists that we've represented for years are national artists, like Leroy Campbell and Joseph Holston, Kevin Williams, Wack, you know. And they, you know, find us, and we work with them in that respect, you know. So a lot of times, you know, it's either them reaching out to us or being referred to us, or we find them. Some client says, hey, look what I bought. I'm like, okay, who's that?
Right.
So yeah, it can take any path.
And what about your clients? Like, how do you connect with like collectors? Are these, you know, people that you just kind of know, or people who come to you?
Kind of both. We do, like, we just finished the Tom Joyner cruise, which we've been helping Tom's foundation raise money for HBCUs for 18 years. Walter does the art auctions. We do a lot of private shows and installations. We just finished working in Miramar, Florida, the client's new home, and took a body of work and installed it, all-day installation. We do a lot of those. So word of mouth really travels. You know, when we're at shows, people sign up for our email list.
Okay.
We'll be working in Manhattan in February at the Harlem Fine Arts Show. So that, you know, a lot of collectors come through, a lot of artists come through. But we can't be all things to all artists because we're not a gallery that, you know, we just put up work just to decorate. If we're not selling the art for the artist, then, you know, we'll give it back to you because we don't want to not be effective. You know, everybody's trying to earn a living. And so we focus on letting our clients tell us what works, because I may fall in love with an artist and their work, and clients may not feel the same. So we have to move on. And it's important for artists to understand that every gallery is not going to do a good job with your work because every gallery has different clients. So don't be discouraged if a gallery turns you down or doesn't sell your work. Just keep trying. Be passionate about it. Be true to your work.
I'm learning that lesson.
Yeah.
Because it can get discouraging, and then as an artist you tend to take things personal. But coming at it from a objective point of view really helps to, you know, it's like chill.
Yeah.
Let the work do what it's gonna do, and it'll find the right people when it's time to find the right people.
That part.
Yeah.
A lot of people may say, well, I don't know where I'm going to put this piece. And I'm like, don't worry about it. Art finds its home and its space. It may tell you, you're going to have to move that piece because I want to go right there.
Yeah.
But it does. You know, art finds its space. And,
I was really going to ask you, too, when you do these personal installations, do you help, like, people kind of imagine work in other spaces and kind of help them curate?
Absolutely.
Okay.
One thing that we find, well, two things. First, you know, the hardest piece of art to buy is the first piece, you know, because you're not sure what your tastes are, you know, is it going to work? If someone comes in and says, why did you buy that? Are you going to be comfortable explaining why you bought it? And then the second thing is, you know, we go into a home and your sofa ends here, but you have the art hanging way up here as if somebody's actually going to lean back and hit it. So most of the time what we have to do is like, well, you might want to bring that down a little bit, keep it at eye level.
Yeah.
But it's fun watching a client who was hesitant about buying. 5 years later, they're, okay, I need this, you know, I'm ready for this piece. I need something for this space.
Right.
So, yeah.
So it's like you kind of help them along the way and then let them take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing like coming into a home with images on the wall that speak to you for different reasons.
Yes.
You know, I'm loving how you guys have this gallery done. I love the way you've painted on the frames, but it's a space that's inviting and warm, and it's a little whimsical, but yeah.
Because when I walked, this was the first time I saw this setup today. And so when I walked in, I was also like, oh, wow. And then to see the different details, even on that painting, and like you said, the frames, it's like, this is a really cool show.
It really is. And I love how you got the little stick drawings, because that would be my art, you know. People ask, Steve, are you an artist? I'm like, I have to use clear on my nails. That's how bad I would be. But I love art. I love hearing the different stories, what inspired artists to create what they did, and reading up on the lives and experiences of old masters. You know, it's enlightening.
It's really cool when people connect through art, because that is the purpose of art. And so I also get excited when I hear people talk about that being one of their favorite things about art. And so, because that's what it's about sharing. It's about understanding one human to another and finding those differences, but also those similarities, and how you can further your connection. And so I think that's what makes art so powerful, personally.
Yeah, I'd like to say it's a great equalizer. You know, two people can look at one image and one may hate it and the other, you know, just may be enamored by it. So art is personal, and we remind clients that, you know, especially if we have a couple in the booth and they're wanting to agree on every piece they buy. And that, to me, that would have to be so boring after a while, because you're not letting each other's personality speak and come through. So what if he likes dogs playing poker? Just put it in another part of the house, but then he owes you. So, you know, just art should represent both. When, you know, I look at a home and it's so homogenous that nothing speaks out, you know, it's like when you let your decorator pick your art out, you know, it's not really your personality. Yeah. So be comfortable with what you like and why you like it. We always tell people, buy what you like, just know what you're buying. Yeah. Don't buy a print thinking it's an original. Yeah. Refer to a print as a painting. Right. And how do you know? You ask the person selling it. Right. Don't be afraid to ask them, well, is this an original? Is it a limited edition? You know, so, right. Yeah.
What does your art collection look like?
Oh my goodness.
I guess, like, what speaks to you?
Different artists for different reasons. We collect a lot of Richard Mayhew. We have several of his paintings, sculptures by Elizabeth Catlett. She's my favorite artist. I just feel so blessed and so lucky to have built a relationship with her. And it's, you know, her story. She was a maverick when she could have been arrested for it, you know, during the McCarthy trials, when she would speak out against injustice, and not just for African Americans, because she had dual citizenship. She also lived in Mexico. So when I look at her work, having spoken to her, it's you know, it's I just feel blessed to have had that opportunity and can share some stories about her. And we were lucky to have had the support of the University of Louisville, PNC Bank, LG&E, to help bring her to Louisville in 2009. And the exhibition at the Cressman Center was actually the last exhibition that she was able to attend before she died.
Oh.
In 2010, the Brooklyn Museum did a retrospective, but she was too ill to travel. She didn't do anything in 2011, and she died in 2012. So, you know, we are fortunate to have had that interaction.
That is beautiful. Man, I was in school, but I didn't know I didn't know about the Louisville art world at that point, unfortunately, but that's amazing. I love her work as well. So you just having a relationship with her is just like legendary. That's so cool.
Yeah. Who knew at the time, but yeah.
I mean, I think it's just, I love the fact that you create genuine relationships with the artists.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes, I won't say, I know how it can be where people don't seem to take you seriously as a person, even if they, you know, like the art. Because I went to school in New York, so I've been around other galleries, and so I understand what that feels like. I also understand what it feels like to be taken seriously and to be invested in. Right. And so to know that your gallery is one of those places, it feels like, okay, that's a really, you guys are real.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
This programming is made possible by Louisville Visual Art. For more than a century, nonprofit LVA has been bringing more art for more people in more places throughout the Louisville area. Through youth fine art education and high school academy, support for professional and aspiring visual artists, and art installations in public spaces. Visit www.louisvillevisualart.org or follow at Louisville Visual Art on social media. The Wine Room by JBell Wine Co. is proud to announce the opening of their newest tasting room in Louisville, Kentucky, a homecoming for their talented winemaker who was born and raised in this vibrant city. 6 years ago, she made the journey to Washington State to learn and craft wines for JBell, and now brings the heart of their winemaking philosophy back to her hometown. As a family-owned boutique winery, JBell is dedicated to small lot production and old world winemaking practices. Each bottle reflects their commitment to authenticity and craftsmanship, with a focus on single varietals and thoughtfully balanced blends. They embrace minimal intervention in the cellar, allowing their wines to speak for themselves. They use native yeast fermentations, and most of all, their wines are unfiltered and unfined, preserving their natural character and depth. This Louisville location not only celebrates their winemaker's roots, but also offers a new way to experience JBell's Washington-grown wines in an intimate, community-driven setting. Whether you're a seasoned wine lover or new to the world of handcrafted wines, you're invited to taste the story behind every glass, where tradition, place, and passion meet. Welcome to the Wine Room by JBell Wine Co., Louisville.
I guess you already kind of answered this, but if you had to give any advice to new collectors or artists, what advice would you give to them?
Kind of what I said before, for the new collectors to buy what you like, just know what you're buying. When we are working with new collectors, we like to come into their space, talk to them, kind of see, what they like, why they're wanting to start buying art, what, experiences speak to them that motivate what they like, whether you were raised by your grandmother or you grew up near the ocean and you want that kind of work, or you love gardening, for whatever reason, what speaks to you, because we're not just going to come into their home with a lot of art that we have and make it work. After we've consulted with them, then we'll come back with some recommendations, right, and some strategies on what they should do moving forward.
Right.
And for artists, it's if you are approaching a gallery to represent you, make sure you have a body of work. Don't come in with a piece that you did 5 years ago and you're still so proud of it. Mm-hmm. What happens when that piece sells? Mm-hmm. Or don't bring them a piece and say, well, I'm not going to sell this. I just want to show you what I can do. Well, you're actually wasting that gallerist's time. Mm-hmm. So for our artists, we find the most successful are the ones that are actually committed to their career and their craft. And you're willing to do what it takes. Sometimes we may have a recommendation on a direction for an artist to go, and if they're willing to do it, you may be more successful. Mm-hmm. It's hard to say, but don't take it personal. If a gallery rejects you, is probably a good thing. You know, the gallerist is being honest. They couldn't sell your work, and you didn't want them to take it just to say that you're in that space if they're not selling it, if they're not showing it. So just be persistent. Just keep painting or creating, and look for a gallery that would be a good fit for you. But don't look for a gallery that you can replicate what they already have. I don't need another quilt artist. I have Sherry Shine. I'm not looking for a paper collage artist. I've got Yolanda Ward. Show me something different, and don't show me what's already everywhere. You know, you might be able to paint exactly like Charles Bibbs. Well, I sell Charles Bibbs, so just knowing the gallery that you are approaching, but being true to what your product is. Because if a gallery has a similar artist to what you do, find another gallery. Or some gallery, you may be able to show it to them and they will do it. We don't often replicate artists, but we can give you some recommendations, maybe another gallery that may be a fit that you can reach out to. But just really being true to yourself and your craft.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a question and it just gone.
That happens to me a lot. It is fine.
As far as like, I know you're not, well, obviously your gallery is exclusively in Louisville, but as far as like your reach, how far is it?
We have clients probably in at least 40 of the 50 states. I'm trying to think. Montana, North and South Dakota. Maine, I have to think, but yeah, our reach is far.
Far and wide.
Yeah, it is.
And so, when you travel, are you like doing shows? And so I know you did the Tom Joyner cruise. Was that how was that experience? I'd never been on a cruise, but I didn't know that they had like art experiences. So how does that work?
Yeah, it's like the cruise, it's fun. If you've never been on a cruise, go on a theme cruise. I know Maxwell is taking a cruise out, Urban Hang Suite in February. It's a 5-day cruise. They have gospel cruises. And I say do a theme cruise because all of the entertainment speaks to you. You know, the first cruise my husband and I took together when we were maybe a year or so married, it was like the white-haired senior citizens. You know, you didn't want to go to the midnight buffet because the walkers would have been in your way, and it's fine. But when you're in your 30s, it's like, okay, where are we? Get me off of here. And at the same time, we kind of gravitate to jazz, R&B. So those kinds of cruises are fine because when you go in the lounge, there's going to be some entertainment for you. But just finding a cruise theme that works for you. And for us, when you go on a cruise, most cruise ships have a gallery on board, Park West.
Okay.
They're based out of, I want to say Illinois, but they are on every cruise ship, every resort. So they have tens of thousands of images, and they have regular gallery hours. So when we're on Tom Joyner, they lease the whole ship. Okay. So Park West, they're still on the ship, but we have a space where we actually set up a gallery and work. My husband does their auctions for Tom Joyner. So it's 7 days, but it's, when the ship docks, we are off the ship, are in our cabin getting some rest. But the hours aren't bad. You meet a lot of interesting people from all over the world, all over the country in that respect. But it's fun. It's a great experience. I think you'd like it.
Wow. I didn't know that was possible to be there, like, as an art professional. So
yeah, absolutely. And Tom, because he has been raising money for HBCUs, it's, he calls it a party with a purpose. And even though he's been off the air probably 4 or 5 years, through his website and, the artists that he's helped over the years, I mean, we've seen Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind and Fire, you name it. The first time I saw Scarface in concert last year on last month on the cruise, it was amazing. I'm like, really? I didn't know I'd like your music. And he's also a client now.
Right.
So, yeah. I was just talking with him yesterday, like, okay, dude, you want this piece or what? So, but that's how, that's how we do. We treat our clients like family. We see a lot, and I might not know you. I'll recognize your face. I'm not going to remember your name after, just meeting you a couple of times. But we have fun, and we a lot of people don't know how to react if they've had a bad experience in a gallery before. Are they going to be snobby or condescending? That's not us. If somebody walks into our booth, if we're in an art show and maybe she's got an expensive handbag, Walter might walk up to her and try to slip her bag off her shoulder. It's like, give me this purse. He's hilarious. So that kind of breaks the ice for a lot of people. But just don't do the wrong person.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'll say too, I noticed on your website that you offer payment plans, and I was like, wow, accessibility is key, because a lot of people, especially, Black people who may have never, bought art before, don't honestly always know that it doesn't seem like an accessible thing sometimes.
Exactly. And making it accessible. I remember listening to an interview with Michael Bloomberg, and he said he used to visit this gallery because there was a piece that he just loved, and he would go in and just look at it, and finally the gallery owner came over and said, well, why don't you buy it? He's like, oh, I could never afford that. He's like, well, why do you think that? He's like, look at the price. He's like, well, let's divide it into something that you can afford. And he said he paid for that on a regular basis for a couple of years. And when he finally was able to purchase art without, a payment plan, he wouldn't buy from anyone but that dealer. So relationships matter, accessibility matters, and being able to work with your clients to get what they want and what they will enjoy matters, because art is not a necessity in a sense. For us it is, because I couldn't imagine blank walls in my home, in my space. When I walk in my front door, I have one piece by an artist, and it's called Ready or Not. And when I first saw it, I said, it was a guy just standing out in the field, and a clothesline was blowing clothes everywhere, and the sky was this eerie color. And I said, so what is it, a tornado? And he's like, no, it's called Ready or Not. It's representing the rapture. So the pants that were blowing, it represented a person, in the Bible when it says two will be in the field. Well, he was taken away up into heaven, and this one was left behind. He's got a Bible in his back pocket, but the word wasn't in his heart. So, yeah, just those little nuances.
Right. So, and you say, like, art isn't necessarily a a necessity, and you know it is to me too, because I have to create.
Yeah.
Like I've had several moments in life where I've been like, I'm not doing this anymore. I've had so many moments where I was gonna quit and then I can't, you know. So
Good for you.
For me, it is life.
Yeah. Good for you.
So,
And having the luxury to do that. You know, I read a story about Henry Asawa Tanner, who was painting back in the early 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s. And he was so talented, but he couldn't get a white teacher to teach him art. Thomas Eakins agreed to teach him. And he was head and shoulders above the other students. The white students took him. He was a frail man, not very big in stature. They took him out into the street and tied him to his easel and left him there because they were jealous of what he had created. And painting through, if they can make it through that, you know, you have an obligation to paint through your moments because you will never get anywhere if you give up.
right.
You know, so just keep
It's also a good reminder of like lineage when you're thinking about your art ancestors and what they had to go through, and it's like comparing it to today and what we're dealing with as artists as well. And obviously your artist cohort and anyone who supports you, it's like it's a good enough reason to keep going.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This programming is made possible by Louisville Visual Art. For more than a century, nonprofit LVA has been bringing more art for more people in more places throughout the Louisville area. Through youth fine art education and high school academy, support for professional and aspiring visual artists, and art installations in public spaces. Visit www.louisvillevisualart.org or follow at Louisville Visual Art on social media. The Wine Room by JBell Wine Co. in Louisville is more than just a tasting destination. It's a full sensory experience. In addition to their curated wine tasting experiences and the by the glass or bottle service, they're excited to offer a thoughtfully crafted small bites menu from their in-house chef. Designed to complement their old world style wine, the menu features locally sourced seasonal ingredients that highlight flavors that enhance the nuances of each pour. Inside, guests can enjoy guided tasting experiences in a dedicated space where reservations are encouraged, though they gladly welcome walk-ins if space allows. For a more relaxed vibe, their expansive outdoor patio offers the perfect setting to sip and savor with friends while taking in the charm of Frankfort Avenue. The patio is reserved for by the glass or bottle service, providing a laid-back atmosphere ideal for lingering over a favorite wine and a few delicious bites. Whether you're a seasoned wine enthusiast or just discovering JBell Wine Co., the Wine Room invites you to explore their wines, enjoy locally inspired fare, and connect with the heart of their winemaking story, all in a warm, welcoming Louisville setting.
I have 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
one of them is like, how do you, I guess, assess or understand like the art market and kind of what's trending? I don't like that word, but you know what I'm like.
Yeah, it's, there are a lot of trends in the art market, a lot of things come and go. But our collectors, the people that are actually spending the money with us, help us to stay focused because we want artists that are consistent, in painting, true to their price point. If you give me a price, what your work sells for, then that's what we're going to sell it for. If my clients see a piece of art being sold by the same artist for a lot less, I'm going to have an issue like, okay, why is this? Are you overcharging me? Because if you are, my clients are thinking I'm overcharging them. So that's what we look for in an artist. The trend, for us, what we're seeing trending in the art world, one of the hottest genres is African American art. When we go to major art shows, be it Art Basel or the Armory Show, some of the most interesting works feature African Americans. And so we feel that we're in the right space at the right place, and if we're not, our clients will let us know, like, nah, that doesn't get it for me.
Right.
But after looking at art for so many years and seeing what artists create, we kind of have a good idea of what works for our collectors, what we can and cannot sell. As much as I love photography, we don't have any in the gallery because most people will come in and ask, well, who is that? They feel they have to know it. So I haven't given up on photography. Just in fact, we were at a show in Chicago and ran into a very nice photographer whose work we will probably bring on board. So stay tuned.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I usually end with my last question, which is, what brings you joy? We talked a lot about your business, and I'm personally curious. It's just about things that you just like to do, just as, Ms. Cathy. But
what brings me joy, honestly, is gratitude to God. If I'm having a bad day, and I just, thank you, Jesus, thank you. And before you know it, I'm thanking you for the company that built this chair. It hasn't collapsed. I'm not on the floor. It's just, there's always going to be something bad. You could be having a great day. Somebody cut you off and you're in this rage mode. Just being able to flip that switch. My pastor, Kevin Cosby, years ago, he gave a sermon and he talked about, when something bad knocks on your door, just say, get that, Jesus. I don't have time. And so I kind of live by that mantra. But I wake up, just thanking God for opening my eyes. I go to bed thanking Him for protection. And it's so important in these crazy times to remember whose we are. It's, yeah. So gratitude. Great being in that space that gives me joy. I could drive down the street and look at an amazing sunrise, or even on a cloudy day, there could be joy and beauty in that. So yeah, it's the little things.
Even today, it wasn't very sunny, at least when I woke up this morning, but seeing how the sky just complemented the snow, I thought, this is so pretty.
I'm taking pictures with my phone, driving. We could be going across country and my husband would be in his seat asleep. And I'm driving and I'm looking like, okay, let me get this picture. Let me make sure he doesn't wake up. What are you doing? Taking pictures. But I love nature. And I appreciate the beauty and the simple thing. Your smile is amazing, and I see the joy in your eyes. So it's I have my days, but try not to let it last long.
Yeah.
You know, have a moment and then get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does take me time. I know my mom would be like, you all would get along very well. And because we go to St. Stephen as well. And I was like, when you said that, I was like,
Yes.
like, yes. But thank you so much for this conversation.
Oh, my pleasure.
It was very pleasant and I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be on my first podcast.
No.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we just kind of
Yes, of
cheers?
course. Cheers.
Thank you.
Best sparkling water I've had today. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
You've been listening to WheelHouse Art's Art by Volume, presented by The Wine Room by JBell Wine Co., and hosted by me, Robin Elise Gibson. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'd also like to give a special thanks to our sponsors and wonderful guests. If you'd like to share any of your comments, questions, or insights, send us an email to abv@wheelhouse.art. We'd love to hear from you. ABV is more than just a podcast. It's a celebration of creativity, expression, and the art that connects us all.